From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour. 4 killed, scores injured as Boko Haram invades Ngulde community in Borno. 9 dead, 10 injured in Abuja road crash. 2 bodies recovered, 4 trapped as 7-story building collapses in Lagos. Away from Nigeria, 7 wounded in shooting on Israeli bus in West Bank. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for joining. We begin with security. Terrorists have attacked a mosque in Borno, killing the chief imam and 3 others worshippers. Many people were injured in the attack, which occurred in Ngulde community of Askirawa local government area on Friday. Reports say that the terrorists, numbering 20, launched the attack early by opening fire on worshippers who had finished their Fajr prayers at the mosque. The terrorists also looted livestock and foodstuff and set ablaze 2 vehicles in Ngulde community, which is located at some part of Sambisa forest in the state. Over 70 suspected Boko Haram members drowned in a river following air bombardment by Operations Hadinkai in Borno State. It was gathered that the Nigerian Army, in collaboration with Civilian Joint Task Force, had earlier killed over 20 members of Boko Haram insurgents in Shiruri village of Bama local government area of Borno State on Thursday. Reports say that after the Shiruri attack, over 70 fighters drowned in a river around Dipchari village of Bama local government area on Friday. Still on security matters, police in Kaduna say 3 suspected bandits informants have been arrested at Maraban Jos and Rigachukung area of Igabi local government area of the state. Police Public Relations Officer Muhammad Jalige said that the 3 suspects, a male and 2 females, have all confessed to their culpability in the crimes.
I went to his place and he promised to make me his wife. I was one caught in the act, but the court pardoned me. I always go to the bush with my friends. We are going to attend naming ceremony. I'm 18 years of age and my parents reside at Rigachukun. I was given money when the first time I followed them to the bush to rustle cows from the owners.
Terrorists have abducted a prominent politician in Kankia local government area, Ibrahim Tafashia, on Saturday evening. Ibrahim Tafashia, who is PDP candidate for State Assembly in the 2023 election, has, however, been rescued unhurt by the police. Police operatives blocked all exit routes and engaged the terrorists in gun duel, killing 1 and injuring another in the process. But terrorists have attacked and abducted 3 children, an 18-year-old girl at Shekar Gabi in Batagarawa local government area of Katsina State. Shekar Gabi is along Katsina Batsari Road in Batagarawa local government area. Meanwhile, some Fulani herders displaced following incessant terrorist attacks in Kurfi and Batsari local government areas are finding it difficult to relocate to safer places. The herders blocked at Birchi and Wurma axis lament continuous harassment, intimidation and threat to life by local vigilantes and Sakai groups. CCTV footages have emerged on how bandits attacked a private residence at Project Quarters in Funtua, Katsina State. The footages show that the bandits attempted to break into the house but were frustrated and then resorted to firing gunshots to scare people in the neighborhood. For the past 2 weeks, kidnappers have put residents of Bakori and Funtua local government areas under siege, kidnapping people almost on a daily basis. The recent purchase of new armored personnel carriers, APCs, by Katsina State government is keeping hopes of the residents alive that the war against banditry will be won. Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps has disclosed that 9 persons have been confirmed dead, while 10 others were injured in a fatal crash along Yangoji-Abaji Road of the Federal Capital Territory. According to a statement signed by the Corps Corps Education Officer, BC Kazim, the crash involved a Toyota bus and a truck along Yangoji-Abaji Road at about 6:05 a.m. on Saturday. He said the bus was coming from Osun State while heading to Katsina State, but unfortunately crashed into the stationary trailer. He stressed that both vehicles involved in the crash were commercial vehicles. He maintained that the Corps will constantly engage the motoring public through aggressive awareness and sensitization campaigns until the desired result was achieved. He urged vehicle owners to ensure that their vehicles were put in order before they put them on the road, so as to avoid road crashes, especially at night. Meanwhile, emergency response workers have recovered 2 dead bodies from the rubble of a building that collapsed in the early hours of Sunday in Lekki, Lagos State. Zonal Coordinator, Southwest National Emergency Management Agency, Ibrahim Farinloye, who disclosed this on Sunday, said that the trapped people are located on the 3rd floor of the building. The building was sealed on the 18th of February 2021. Earlier, Farinloye gave an update on the search and rescue mission.
The distress alert alerted that a 7-story building under construction was collapsed. From getting here, after mobilizing our stakeholders, on getting here, we found out that the building was under construction and it had been sealed since 1802, 2021. February 18, 2021, it was sealed. However, we don't know what really happened. The information we gathered on site was that 6 people were trapped. And out of the 6 people so far, we have recovered 2 bodies dead. And the operation is still ongoing. It's not for the responder to determine that all other agencies like the Ministry of Physical Planning will do their personal assessment and test to determine the quality of materials used. We have Lagos State Building Control Agency, we have the Lasambos, we have the police disaster management units, and the civil defense are there, federal fire service are here. We deployed FTTC equipment, 2 excavators, 2 all other equipment that are necessary. We have light equipment supplied also. At least about cutters and spreaders are on ground, mainly by NEMA. At least 5 cutters, spreaders, so that we can extricate people out of the dangerous zone.
Now, moving on to political matters. Candidates seeking political offices in 2023 must come up with development agenda that will address the needs of the people. At a one-day colloquium held at Mubaya House, Kano Jigawa Professionals Forum expressed a resolve that achieving sustainable development in line with a sustainable master plan in the 2 states will no longer be negotiable. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Organized by Kano and Jigawa Professional Forum, this one-day colloquium drawn its participants from all the political parties across Kano State with the aim to set a 10-year strategic development plan ahead of the 2023 governorship, national and state assemblies elections.
This colloquium is intended, among others, to serve as a veritable platform for collaboratively generating ideas on identifying and agreeing on the critical issues facing the 2 states and their solutions.
Presenters from various professional work streams covering health, education, governance, infrastructure and logistics, technology, legal and regulatory, as well as media and communications, each provided guiding documents by which strategic development could be achieved across Kano states.
One important thing, health is on concurrent list. The federal government should do its bit here the state government and the local government, there should be harmony and synergy. What we saw during the pandemic, the total disconnect between the federal institution and the state institution. Now, we should enhance this relationship to ensure that we have established a proper referral center.
The way we, Mboko, try to reform the system is to say, integrate it into the Western education system. And that's the one thing that the people who patronize it don't want. Because they have a choice. They see a primary school, they take their child instead to a Quranic school. Okay, so my suggestion is talk to them, reform the system, modernize it, don't westernize it.
For the candidates, a forum like this will significantly encourage political office holders in overcoming the socio-economic challenges of their people by providing a sustainable development in all aspects of life.
For me, I will cherish this and the reports that have been given to me. I will make sure that I go through it, and I am urging all the participants for us to please go through these submissions and see the submissions, and by the time what Allah has destined on us happen, we should try and do the best out of it.
At the end of this colloquium, all these political party candidates will be expected to be fully informed about the developmental needs of the people for achieving sustainable development across the state. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, on Saturday met with governorship candidates of the party from across the country. The former vice president, alongside his running mate, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, met with the candidates at his residence in Asokoro, Abuja. The meeting, which held behind closed doors, lasted for more than an hour. Chairman of the PDP Governorship Candidates Forum and PDP Governorship candidate in Kaduna State, Isa Ashuru, said that the meeting was to formally congratulate Atiku and themselves. He said that they discussed extensively as a family on a wide range of issues. Those in attendance were governorship candidates from Kaduna, Plateau, Katsina, Lagos, Niger, Kano, Sokoto, Delta, Yobe, Jigawa, Nasarawa, Kwara, Benue, Borno, Ebonyi, and Zamfara states. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, has been advised to step in and resolve the crisis rocking the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. Chairman and one of the leaders of the party, Chief Edoze Njoku, stated this in a chat with Trust Television. According to him, if the disagreement within the party is not resolved, the party may go under.
I advise Soludo to really find a way very quickly for us to come to the table and get peace in line so that APGA candidates can start doing something. All of them, everyone is just sitting down and confused. They are confused. He's the governor of the state. There's something we talk about politics. When you're in election, you are PDP, APC. As soon as you win, you are a governor of all. Soludo is the governor of APGA. He should rise to that level. What the rest of the Southeasters are saying, that we have a special love for the party. At least we are meant to be 5 brothers. Let's move it out of. You people have only been able to keep one governor. You got one and he ran away. So you need to expand the party. Then we also need to expand to the whole of Nigeria. It's a lovely party with a lovely logo. So I don't see why we should restrict it to an Oye kind of a thing. No, it shouldn't be like that.
You're watching the news hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at trends of pre-wedding photo shoots as part of marriage ceremonies. Details of this and more after the break.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back. If you are just joining, you're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Here is a reminder of our top stories. 4 killed, scores injured as Boko Haram invades Ngulde community in Borno. 9 dead, 10 injured in Abuja road crash. In other news, an Italy-bound 53-year-old physically challenged man, Ehiarim Emmanuel, has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, for trafficking in illicit substances. At the time of his arrest, Ehiarim was found to have concealed 5,000 tablets of tramadol, 225 milligrams in his luggage. Here is the report.
Preliminary investigations revealed that 53-year-old physically challenged Ehiarim Emmanuel is a frequent traveler who often travels with lots of bags containing many food items, body cream, hair attachments, and drinks. The suspect was said to have presented his usual large consignment to NDLEA operatives for search, but held on to some packages which were retrieved from him and properly searched, during which the drugs were discovered. Meanwhile, in the course of the past week, NDLEA operatives raided a suspected clandestine crystal methamphetamine laboratory at Opik Estate, Agbara, Lagos. Clues from the property led operatives to another in the vicinity, where another Peter James was apprehended with some quantity of substance in the same vein. Troops of 81 Division of the Nigerian Army have handed over to Lagos State Command of NDLEA 792 blocks of cannabis sativa smuggled from the Volta region of Ghana into Ogun State. The consignment was intercepted at a checkpoint along Ilaro-Benin Republic border. And in Niger State, NDLEA operatives intercepted a truck conveying animal feeds from Lagos to Kaduna with 449 compressed block and 111 bags of cannabis sativa, weighing 1,531 kilograms, belonging to a dealer in Zaria. Among the Kefi area of Gombe State, operatives intercepted 811,000 tablets of tramadol, diazepam, and Exols, weighing 150 kilograms. A vehicle loaded in Onitsha, Anambra State, In Ondo, NDLEA operative combing the Alpha Forest in Akure North local government area for a drug lord have intercepted suspected bandits terrorizing farmers in the area. The suspected bandits were nabbed with 25 bags of cannabis sativa weighing 296 kilograms with explosive devices, 6 cartridges, 4 motorcycles, and assorted charms used in terrorizing farmers in the forest. And in the national capital, an Abuja-based businesswoman, Onyinye Nwoke, 38, has been arrested following an intelligence-led raid at her residence in Galadimawa, where operatives uprooted fresh stems of cannabis sativa plants grown at the backyard of the house. The uprooted plants weighed 18.4 kilograms, while 800 grams of cannabis sativa were also recovered from the house. Chairman Chief Executive NDLEA Brigadier General Buba Marwal, retired, commended the officers and men and charged them to intensify the hit on drug cartels in Nigeria.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says the Ogun State House of Assembly Speaker Olakunle Oluomo is to be arraigned in Lagos on Monday over alleged financial crimes. Reports say that the agency was leaving no stone unturned in its bid to arraign the chief lawmaker, adding that some political actors had been making efforts to stall the arraignment. The speaker was arrested by officials of the EFCC at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport Thursday morning and secretly flown to Abuja, and was still in the custody of the anti-graft agency Saturday night. He was said to have been on the wanted list of the commission following his failure to honor the EFCC invitation several times. Oluomo and others yet to be named are accused of forging signatures and financial documents belonging to the State Assembly. A suspected stowaway was on Sunday morning arrested at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The suspect, a middle-aged man, was reportedly found in one of the aircraft belonging to United Nigeria Airlines, which was parked at the MMA Domestic Terminal 2 during pre-flight inspection. A statement by the head corporate communications of the airline, Chelus Chud Uchebu, said that the suspect has been handed over to the security agencies. According to the statement, the development resulted in rescheduling of some flights to accommodate the investigations. Stakeholders in Nigeria's justice system have advocated review of plea bargain that is meant to ensure restorative and quick justice dispensation. They view the section in the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act as giving lifeline to corrupt public office holders. Respondents told Trustee Shafiu Suleiman that the legislation has done more harm than good to Nigerians.
The concept of plea bargain, which was borrowed from the United States Criminal Justice Manual into the EFCC Act, is to fast-track adjudication of justice, save cost and time of litigation. But since its application in Nigeria's criminal justice system, experts say it has rather provided a window for corrupt public office holders to shortchange the country and its citizens in mind-boggling corruption scandals.
The latest case of the Accountant General. What financial system in the world will allow somebody to take over 100 billion out of its coffers? In the UK, every pound, a single pound cannot be missing in the British financial system without being detected. But you can see in our country, just a group of not up to 10 people who syndicate themselves as criminals took out over 100 billion in our financial system, and all of them now are being granted plea bargain.
The kind of plea bargain we are seeing in Nigeria is basically to encourage more corruption and more corrupt people to loot the public treasury, because when you steal $10 million through plea bargain, you will just return maybe $1 or $2 million. Then the rest of the money is like clean.
Plea bargain, though alien to Nigeria's laws, creates a lacuna in an effort to tackle the nation's #1 enemy, corruption and provides a lifeline for those cornering billions of taxpayers' money into private use. But the question is there a remedy for this misnomer?
We have actually been advocating for judicial reform in Nigeria. Administrative justice system needs to be totally overhauled in this country because it's not serving the interests of Nigeria and Nigerians. It is serving those criminals who have perpetrated crime against humanity in Nigeria.
And that is why they should quicken the process of repealing that section of the act, so that people who are found complicit or guilty of offenses like this can be able to face the law and the wrath of the law, and so that other people, especially the younger generation, will see that we are not grandstanding criminals.
Lawyers say the onus now lies with the nation's legislative arm of government to summon the will and take a bold step to repeal the section in the EFCC Act for a genuine and robust anti-corruption crusade. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Buying drugs without doctor's prescription is tantamount to risking one's life. Health expert gave this hint in Bauchi while commenting on why people prefer going to pharmacies than hospitals these days. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has more.
Dr. Abdul Salam Abdul Aziz is a medical doctor, and he says health workers in Nigeria should insist on standards by giving drugs only when prescribed by doctors.
In Nigeria, people have a way of going about getting even controlled drugs out of prescription. So basically what we just perhaps want to advise the health workers is for both pharmaceutical outlets and hospitals. People should strictly work based on prescription, and all controlled drugs should try to be controlled, as the word implies, controlled drugs.
He also explains some reasons why people prefer pharmacy than hospitals in most cases.
Time factor is actually crucial. The patient waiting period sometimes affects patronage in the hospital. So when you go to pharmaceutical outlet, you could easily get prescription with over-the-counter drugs or chemist, you understand? But when you come to the hospital, you would rather wait and follow queue. So I think the patient waiting period, especially when it is long, could affect the patronage.
Ahmed Aliu, a pharmacist, explained how business of selling drugs works and differentiate them with other vendors.
The pharmacy store only contain drugs, prescribed drugs and even non-prescribed drugs. While when we talking of patent medicine store, they are the local store found around in our local areas. Normally they are selling drugs, even the non-prescribed drugs.
Meanwhile, Bauchi residents also share their views on the matter.
So for me, it's better to walk into any other chemist and buy my drugs whenever I'm in need of, drugs or medicine. Number two,
going to hospital, to me, is more preferable than going to chemist, in the sense that if you go to hospital, you'll meet an expert that will diagnose, give you the results. Maybe they will take you to lab, test you, find out the result, and tell you the medication.
If somebody goes to the hospital, instead of taking 50 minutes, it's going to take maybe 2 hours. So maybe that is why I prefer going to the chemist than going to the hospitals, as far as I'm concerned.
Health expert added that people have the right of choice on issues affecting them, though not without risks, but doing what is right, especially on health ground, is worthwhile. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Zamfara State Government has handed over 143 completed new primary health care centers and also 147 tricycle ambulances to the State Primary Health Care Development Board to address health challenges at the rural communities in the state. The State Deputy Governor, Senator Hassan Nasiha, handed over the items to the board at Sabongida Ward in Bungudu local government area of the state, charging the board to ensure proper maintenance of the newly constructed primary health care centers to serve the needs of the people in each of the 147 wards in Zamfara State.
The gathering here is for the handing over of 143 completed new primary healthcare centers, as well as the 147 tricycle ambulances to the Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Development Board. The Governor Bello Matowalle administration had initiated the construction of 147 primary healthcare centers in each of the political wards in the state, but 143 have been completed while 4 centers are still under construction. The Deputy Governor, Senator Hassan Nasiha, while formally handing over the completed new health facilities, said that each of the primary healthcare centers was constructed at the sum of 15,236,634 naira.
The has embarked on constructing primary healthcare centers across 147 months of the state. Each of the primary health centers was constructed at the cost of 15,236,634 with a milestone. It is evident that Zamfara State is the first to satisfy the requirement of the National Healthcare Policy of building at least one primary health center per ward.
The State Commissioner for Local Government and Community Development, Abubakar Dambo, enjoined the local government sole administrators to make it a point of duty to ensure daily operations and periodic provision of equipment to the health facilities. The Executive Secretary, Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Development Board, Dr. Ismail Tukur, said the board planned to train 2 health personnel from their ward on how to respond to patients' emergencies from their homes and deliver them to the primary healthcare center and even to tertiary health facilities.
Especially health professionals and health workers as well as operational staff who will manage these important facilities and equipment to stay focused and handle them with extreme care and imbibe the spirit of maintenance culture in order to last longer than expected.
2 selected, trusted personnel from the local, from the wards will be trained on how to deliver patients from their homes to facility and also from the primary facility to secondary facility where necessary.
The Emir of Gusau, Ibrahim Bello, however, urged those saddled with the responsibility of manning the facilities to ensure that many orphans in Zamfara State also enjoy healthcare services in their respective wards. With the handing over of these health facilities and means of quick response to health emergencies, it is expected that rural dwellers will now enjoy prompt healthcare services.
Now, with a growing population and poor environmental management, almost every part of Makurdi town is home to one indiscriminate refuse dump. The water channels meant for drainages are not spared in this unruly behavior. It was discovered in most of the dumps visited that the activities mostly happen at night. Here is more on the report.
The people seen around the refuse dumps in the daytime are scavengers for items who are not guilty of any crime. Those who spoke to a reporter said the government has not taken any decisive role in evacuating the dump sites. Most of the dumps have been around for decades.
To not wait for the government to get the environment need for them, because for the sake of your health alone, you are supposed to make sure your environment is kept clean. You make sure your dumps, your waste are being dumped where they are supposed to be dumped, and make sure there are no empty containers to hold water or stagnant water around.
Those whose houses or places of businesses are impacted negatively by these mountains of refuse say there is little they can do to address the act. This is because government has not provided a policy direction or alternatives to manage them.
And the reason why people dump refuge at odd places is simply because the government have not supplied the necessary facilities for them to be dumping their refuge inside. And most of the times the people are at fault as well, because they go around dumping refuge at night because they know that in the day people will caution them because of what they have done.
Some of the residents say it is toxic to live close to a refuse dump as there are quite a number of diseases that can be contacted by air or water pollution emanating from the dumps.
It is hazard to human health because the people living around these places they dump refuge might end up picking one or two different diseases into their system, especially children that hawks around. Many of these children, they might pick things on this refuge and eat, which is not also good for their health.
Some people have stream as their own source of water to drink. So if these refuse are drawn to these streams, it might lead to people having issues of diarrhea or cholera.
What is worrisome is the fact that in all the sites visited, it appears no community has a plan in place to curtail the menace. Some have accepted the dumps as part of their neighborhood, even as there are no conscious efforts by the government to clear them.
Pensioners in Osun State who could not get their pay after retirement have called on the state government to fast-track the payment process because of many of them are sick and need money for treatment. Mostly affected are those that retired after the introduction of contributory pension scheme, as majority of those that retired earlier said they get their retirement benefits and are receiving their monthly pension regularly. Trust TV's Hamid Oebade files in this report.
Retired workers of Osun State government have held a series of protests in Osogbo, the state capital, to demand payment of their gratuity and pension. According to the pensioners, the problem started after the introduction of contributory pension scheme, which forced many workers to leave the service. Some of the affected retirees who spoke behind cameras lamented that they were denied their benefit after serving the state for years. Some said they are sick, in pitiable condition, as well as unable to feed and buy drugs. A retiree, Remy Alabelewe, appealed to state government to fast-track the process so that the money can be paid to their pensioners.
We want to urge the governor, Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, to please assist and fast-track the payment of the contributory pensioners' entitlement vis-a-vis the 29.5 months salary. We want to appeal to the incoming governor too to please adhere strictly to his campaign and the manifesto as agreed with the contributory pensioners.
Other pensioners, Richard Akintade and Lai, who retired before contributory pension scheme was introduced in the state, said they received their gratuity and that they are getting their monthly pension.
The situation is getting worse and you have more people on, sorry to use the language, death row, because a lot of people are sick and they don't have the funds to take care of themselves because the government has made it a bit difficult for them to access both their gratuity, if it will ever come, and the monthly pension.
Although the incumbent administration is trying their best, most especially on the issue of contributory pension, some are yet to get their home, while they are yet to collect the bond. Yes. So along the line, some have died. Yes, some are on their sick bed.
Contributory pension was introduced by the President Obasanjo administration to address the myriad of problems associated with pension administration in the country.
Now, showcasing prospective couples to the world via social media is a trend that has come to stay among will-be couples in the country. Tagged pre-wedding photo shoot, the art of taking pictures and uploading same on social sites has become so popular that a wedding is considered not to have started without the shoot. Ibrahim Ismail speaks to some prospective couples in Gombe on why they shoot pre-wedding pictures.
Ibrahim Thompson and Emanuela Matthew will become husband and wife soon as the two lovers prepare to tie the nuptial. Pre-wedding pictures are part of the favorite activities set up by the couple.
So generally it's like an invitation, it's like a publicity telling the whole world that you are about to get married. because the pre-wedding pic comes in different models. Sometimes you see coming with an invitation card. It comes normally with invitation card. Yes, publicizing and telling the world that you're about to get married. And then it's another way of expressing your happiness, you know, to the general public.
Is an expression of love, really, and we can use it to keep a memory of our love life. We can use it also, especially, for example, our relatives that are far, they might not be able to attend the wedding. So we can use it to send them, and they want to see the picture of my husband, so I can send the pictures for them so that they can see it. And we can use it to decorate our walls in our room. We can use it for memory.
The couple's photographer said pre-wedding pictures are very important among Nigerian couples, adding that women love it more than men.
Because I have seen my friend wedding picture, I want my own to be like that. I want my own to be talk of the town, you know, that kind of thing. That's why nowadays, if you ask a girl whether she would like to take pre-wedding pictures, she will tell, what? I must have my pre-wedding. In fact, there are some scenarios whereby a couple had a kind of misunderstanding because of pre-wedding. You know, men, we don't really like snapping, honestly. I'm a photographer. I can tell you in a month how many men used to come and snap pictures, but women come every now and then. If they saw new clothes, they will snap. They play their head, they will snap. Whenever they are happy, they will snap, understand?
The prospective couple said they were very careful in their mode of dressing during photo sessions to reflect the culture of their community.
Okay, yes, in terms of dressing, we should just try and dress decent, so that we don't know where the pre-wedding pictures will go.
Do you think if they say, don't worry, don't do pre-wedding pictures, how would you feel?
No, I will not agree. I must do it because it has been my favorite part of the wedding. I cannot just afford to miss that part.
I only use 4 clothes, 2 Baban Riga, 1 kaftan and 1 suit. Also herself, so her body was not exposed, my body was not exposed, so it was moderate, it was decent, that you can share and send to any person without complaint.
Photographer Maxwell said some women have attached value to pre-wedding pictures more than any other activity in the lineup of event for a wedding ceremony. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Beautiful couple indeed. We'll now take a short break, and then when we return, the news hour continues. Please stay with us.
That's great.
Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Now, away from Nigeria, gunmen wounded 6 Israeli soldiers and a civilian when they sprayed bullets at a bus driving on a highway in the occupied West Bank. 2 suspects were arrested soon after near the burnt-out remains of the vehicle they were thought to have used, and guns were found lying on the dirt road nearby. The Israeli military said 1 soldier was seriously wounded and 5 others and a civilian suffered lighter injuries. Defense Minister Benny Gantz said that the army said security forces were continuing the searches after 2 armed suspects were detained. Al-Shabaab fighters have killed at least 19 civilians and destroyed trucks laden with food aid in an overnight attack in Somalia's central region. The armed group launched the attack in the Hiran area in the semi-autonomous state of Hirshabelle in central Somalia. The trucks were transporting food supplies from Beledweyne city to Mahaz town. Al-Shabaab in a statement said that they targeted fighters from a local sub-clan that recently helped government forces and that they killed 20 militiamen and those who were transporting material for them, destroying 9 of their vehicles. The Al-Qaeda-linked group has battled Somalia's central government for more than a decade. It wants to establish its own rule based on a strict interpretation of Islamic law. 3 women among 49 Ivorian soldiers detained in Mali have been released. The women arrived home late on Saturday, about 7 weeks after their arrest sparked a diplomatic spat between military-ruled Mali and the Ivory Coast. Togolese Foreign Minister Robert Duce, whose country has been mediating talks, said that 3 women were released as a humanitarian gesture by Mali's leader, Colonel Assimi Goïta. Mali said that the group who were detained at the airport in the Malian capital, Bamako, on July 10th had flown in without permission and were considered mercenaries. Ivory Coast, which has repeatedly requested their release, says that the soldiers were unfairly arrested after being sent to provide backup for the UN peacekeeping mission in Mali. We'll take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Join us again. Thanks for staying. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. And now to sports news. Manchester United's £82 million new boy Anthony scored on his debut, and Marcus Rashford got 2 as Erik ten Hag's men ended Arsenal's 100% start to the season at Old Trafford. It was Rashford's first Premier League double since December 2020, helping lift them to 5th in the table. Arsenal remain top, however, after their excellent start to the season. Manager Mikel Arteta will be concerned at how easily his side were opened up, although the Gunners did have a first half Gabriel Martinelli goal ruled out by VAR. Max Verstappen's serene march to a second title continued with a comfortable victory in an eventful Dutch Grand Prix. The Red Bull driver had to pass Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes after a late safety car period to take his 10th win in 15 races this year to extend his lead to 109 points. Hamilton was left fuming after Mercedes failed to change his tires during the caution period. That left him vulnerable and allowed teammate George Russell and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc to pass him after the restart to take the other podium places. Still in sports news, Rafael Nadal has continued his quest for a 3rd Grand Slam title of 2022 with victory over Richard Gasquet to reach the 4th round of the US Open. Spain's Nadal, a 4-time winner in New York, prevailed 6-0, 6-1, 7-5 in his 18th win over the Frenchman. The 36-year-old won the Australian and French Opens earlier this year before injury saw him withdraw before his Wimbledon semi-final. He will face American Frances Tiafoe for a place in the quarter-finals. And that's a wrap on the News Hour. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.